Hi, guys, and welcome back to the Real Play Podcast. It's Ebony.
Hey, it's Sierra.
All right, guys, and today we're going to talk about it's the effort for me. It is the effort for me with these guys and dating, and I'm going to put myself on blast. Let's talk about it, Sierra.
Yeah, you gonna put yourself on blast for real.
Yeah.
I'm ready to hear this. I am ready to hear this because Ebony has been known to be lock-lipped. So she might have put her own self on blast. Let's go. Turn up the mic. Turn up your mic.
We definitely my cheeks are getting like I'm not gonna put them back down. So we definitely want to talk about you know, dating looks very different in the quarantine. It looks different in 2020. It's gonna look different in 2021. But I think, something that I've encountered, especially living in the DMV. I don't know if it's just here. Ladies, let me know if it's the same in your city. But guys are not as willing to put in as much effort as they, had in the past, when we were looked at as prizes. And I'm not saying I'm the best thing walking or I got princess syndrome or anything like that. But I do think it's something to be said about, guys putting in effort. And how I will put myself on blast is that, we can put in effort as well. It doesn't just have to be the guy putting in effort. Right. But for me, I'm very into, like, in order for me to like a guy, and I don't want to drop any gems or anything, so guys can be like, oh, I know how to get her. But I'm like, I have to be like mentally stimulated. So you have to like be able to teach me something or be willing to learn. Or I'm also an acts of service girl. So if you are doing stuff, and that doesn't have to be anything big, but just something small, that can also, help with the effort as well. But I think guys, they don't even try sometimes. So let's say, for instance, if you are going out on a date, guys like to say like, oh, well, let me know when you're available. No, I need you to hit me with a date and a time to tell me like, hey, Ebony, I scheduled a reservation at blah, blah, blah restaurant at 7 o'clock on Thursday. So clear your calendar.
Wait a minute. I don't like that. I don't want you to tell me
I'm cool
that
with
you've
that.
already done it. I want you to say, hey, what about Thursday at this time?
Or asking me, am I free?
Schedule it. Yes. Okay. You ask me first, you give me a time and a date and a location and be like, oh, Sierra, does Thursday at 7 o'clock work for you at Copper Canyon? It does. All right, I'm gonna make a reservation right now. But don't make the reservation first.
I'm not saying like strong arm me and be like, yeah, you have to be this place at this time. No. I'm just saying it's the planning, it's the effort in the fact that you have already picked a restaurant. Ding, 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 ding. Guys sometimes don't even want to pick a restaurant. I'm just like, just pick somewhere. I'll find something off the menu. Or don't want to pick a time, or just like, so just to let guys know, we're never really going to tell you we're available unless we're very bored. Like, don't say, hey, let me know when you're available. I won't. So it won't happen.
Right.
And so I think there can be more effort there. I think there could be more effort even with just trying to show you that they're really sometimes interested. I don't think that guys even, and maybe it's because they're talking to other girls and so they're trying to figure out if they like you, if they like her, that's fine too, because, I might be doing the same thing, right? So, but once you realize that you really like the person, don't be trying to do the bare minimum, because that will get you nowhere. And women like me will spot the BS from a mile away and treat you as such. So there's that.
And I think the most important thing about effort is that each person may interpret effort differently. So somebody may think that, oh, if I text you good morning, I'm showing you effort that I like you. And another person is like, anybody can set up their phone to send a good morning text. So that's not effort to me. So
Ooh,
just Webster right now, just Webster's definition, there's multiple ones, but the one that I like is the total work done to achieve a particular end. So you're putting in work for something that you see an end to. So
yes.
there could be a reason that guys don't put in a lot of effort because they don't really
Ooh, they don't see an
that
end
end.
goal.
There's nothing they're working towards because they don't really care. So in
Ooh.
those times, and it's like, okay, cool. He's not putting in effort, but boo boo, you probably wasn't somebody he was really trying to see anything with. Now that can be an issue because if you or I are like, oh yeah, like I kind of like him, this is gonna be good, but he's not putting in effort because he doesn't see anything. That's a lack of communication. Someone's feelings gonna get hurt. But the
See,
main thing
I
is
need to do
talking
better.
about what effort looks like to you is
Mm-hmm.
gonna look different. Like even when you were like, yeah, he gonna not saying that you're gonna have somebody tell you what to do, but you're like, yeah, I want your example wouldn't have been the same way
Mm-hmm.
my example would have been said because I'm like, not that ain't cool.
Well,
So
you know, not me. So to a certain extent is will I would accept that, right? Because I'm not gonna have you, you know, trying to tell me what to do and how to do it. But depending
yeah,
on who it is, I would be okay with that.
I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I think it's all about each person, though, really, what you expect, what he expects, and then you guys got to have a middle ground of what this effort's truly going to look like. So I think that's the biggest thing because I have people who they're trying hard, but it doesn't matter how hard they try.
I don't like you.
I'm I've already got to the point where it's like I'm not interested on that level. So you could put in as much effort as the world has, and it's not gonna get you anywhere. Then there's ones that do a little things here and there. You're like, oh man, he really liking me, but you don't really know what's his end goal. So he's putting in the effort, but for what? So that
Mm-hmm.
he has someone to communicate with over the phone for the next couple of months, or because he sees something in you or me or whoever, and he's like, I think she may be wiping material, so let me just test her out and let me do some things to show her that I'm interested, and then I'll make my decision later. So it's really kind of, I think at our age, dating, as you said, is way different now. Not even just because of COVID and everything that's going on, but we're older now. So dating in college is way different than dating as a working adult. And our expectation levels as women of standard is going to be better than, oh, just take me. No, I still like Fridays because I got that good Impossible Burger. You put the little glaze on it. I was going to say, don't take me to Fridays, but you can. But our level, we're going to expect more. We're going to expect you to like take us out. We're going to expect you to
Mm-hmm.
do things that, to make us smile and to call and text. And don't ever tell a woman you've been too busy to call or text, because I don't know a woman on this planet that'd be like, okay, boo, it's okay. You work a lot. That's fine. No, you like guys, you driving to or from work, you're brushing your teeth. You could even talk while you're brushing your teeth. I can't really understand you, but at least it shows me that any minute you have, you want to try to spend it on me or
And that
try
is
to engage me.
right. That is definitely effort too, because sometimes, like you said, guys don't really try to call or it's a lot of text messaging. And I will get in a rut where I like to text, especially if I don't really know if I like the guy or not. Like, okay, it's fine.
Right.
I'll text you back if I'm available. And I'm busy too. But what I don't like, and I've said this on the podcast before too, is if I tell you, hey, like I go to bed at 10 o'clock, don't call me at 2 a.m. in the morning or something like that. Don't call me at 12 o'clock. Like
Mm-hmm.
if I've set those boundaries and yet time and time again, you kind of ignore what I said, then it's the effort. You've made no effort for me. And, you know,
Yeah, that is not effort. You're not respecting my
mm-hmm.
wishes. You don't respect me. You don't care. So you clearly don't have an end state of what you're trying to be with me because you're doing all
Right.
the opposite of what I asked you to do. So
Right. And it's clear to me that you might enjoy spending time with me, but you might not really want to be with me
right.
because, you know, you're not really making, like you said, an effort.
We should have said in the beginning, like every time we say the word effort, you have
Take
to take a sip of whatever you're drinking. Whether mine is actually it's lime and ginger water, but That's what we should have said, because we've said effort a whole lot. And when I play this back, I'm going to actually count.
Okay.
But I mean, that's what the episode is about, is effort. And like, everybody understands. They understand.
Says effort. Oh, drink it. Take a sip. Effort. Take
no,
a sip.
But it's not for me. It's for them. It's for the listeners. But everybody understands, like, at a big level, what effort is, but it's the details of the person, because each person is different. And I think, as you said, maybe I make it up in my head, maybe it was just talking about license, I don't remember, but somebody said they don't mind like reciprocating the effort. So yeah, I do want you to call me and text me, but guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call and text you. I may offer to do something nice for you because you're always doing something nice for me, because I don't always want it to be one-sided. And I've learned that in my mid-30s that don't get me wrong, I'd rather you hit me up all the time, every time. Like, I love that. It means you thought about me. But I've learned to also do the same thing back. And I'll send random text messages or a random picture, or just say, hey, I don't want nothing. I was just calling you to say hi. Just want to see your face. All right, okay, bye. You know what I'm saying? Just to show that it's not just one-sided. Because I know these guys, their pride and all their emotions, they're so fragile. And they try to act like they're not. They try to act hard, but they want us to love on them too. So if we like you, there's nothing wrong with us doing it back. Most of us may not do it right off.
Right, correct.
We may give it some time.
Because sometimes we as women, we have to make sure that guys really like us, because most of the time guys are attracted based on physical appearance. Let's be clear, right? So you might like the way I look, but are you really trying to date me, or you just like the way I look and are trying to do,
other stuff?
So we have to make that, we have to make that clear distinction before we're actually into, well, at least me, well, this is a whole another conversation because I ain't having sex no way, but before I'm like jumping into I don't know what's in between like friendship and a relationship, but before I'm jumping into that, then I need to know that you actually like me. So put in some effort to show me that you care, because if you don't, then I'm just going to keep you in that friend zone, that friend category, and then we're just going to proceed from there.
Right. You don't want to get friend zoned.
Friend zoned.
I've been friend zoned. I've been friend zoned. I've been ghosted. I've been, you name it, it's happened. I'm not everyone's cup of tea, and I'm fine with that because I am the cup of tea of the right person. But yeah, so you don't want to be friend zone, especially if it's somebody that you're feeling. But it's better to go ahead and get that friend zone out the way, let it happen, and then you can move on to the rest of your life, and someone else can find you, because you could be crushing on somebody and you blocking your own blessing. Someone else wants to talk to you, but you sitting up in the house friend zone with somebody else. Like, some stuff to think about in my life. No, just kidding. But
tell us your story.
Now I'm just thinking, like, when you think about your old relationships, and I think you said before you've never been in a real relationship, an official relationship, but I have. So I have been in relationships since even elementary school. Like, I've had guys that I liked, he liked. Oh, you my boyfriend? Yep.
I don't count.
I'm your girlfriend. Like, I've done that. I've done dating in high school and college and as an adult. But through all that, as you can see, I'm still by myself in the single life, which is fine because I love it. It's great. I can do whatever I want. But there's certain things that you look back and say, man, I spent a lot of time with that one specific person when I could have left earlier, or he could have left earlier, and not for anything like bad, negative happened, but we kind of wasted each other's time because we got comfortable in where we were and just was like, okay, well, maybe it'll work. Maybe we can make it into something. But you don't want to do that. You don't want to waste time. And I'm trying to talk myself up because I got some things I need to do. I'm still nervous. But I'm trying to pep talk myself, like, you got to let people know how you feel. And that goes with telling them what you think is effort.
Come on, communication. That is something that's very hard too, especially when you get, if you're in the I'm not really interested. I might be interested. That situation, it's kind of hard to communicate and be like, dude, you putting in effort to know like what you want to do. Because if you don't want to like,
Yes.
because I can for one get comfortable and be like, well, we ain't got to talk no more. I've been on my own anyway. Like it don't really matter to me. Like the next guy come like that. So
do you tell them that though? Do you say that? Probably. You check it out. I mean, it's true. It is true. I don't think I said it like that.
I try to let me clarify for the podcast. Hold up. I am not mean when it comes to communicating with guys, but I also some guys are very what's the word that I'm looking for? You have to let them know certain things because they sometimes, like if somebody hears my history and say, oh, well, she's never dated, like they might think that I'm vulnerable or easy to kind of like manipulate or persuade. I'm not. Let me say for 100%, I'm not that person. I'm very like I've talked to guys. I've never been in a relationship, so let me say it from that standpoint. But I'm not gullible and I'm not easy to get over on. And so from that standpoint, I have to let guys know like, hey, that's not what we're doing here.
Right.
That's not what we're doing.
Tell them. Okay. And if you don't feel comfortable with something, like if they're doing something, you're like, wait a minute, this feels weird. Like, I don't think you really like me, or your intentions don't seem right. Or I don't even like how you treated me. Like I text you a couple days ago and it took you 3 or 4 days to text back. What? No, just know that that's not okay with me. And I've done that before. And he came back with, oh, well, we're not in a relationship anymore. So I was like, okay, that's fine. But I'm just letting you know how I feel. And I want you to know, so there's no, confusion later on of why I'm treating you the way I'm treating you, or why I'm responding to you the way I'm going to respond to you, because you already have all the information out there. So I think if you're a little rough with them at times, it's nothing wrong with that, because you know what you want, you know what you're willing to accept, and you know if it's worth your time or not. So you might as well just let them know, like, hey, look, it's not working. And Ebbs is out here. Ebbs is pretty. So Ebbs will find someone else.
Guys, I'm really, really nice. But I think that I have to also be careful because I am so nice that I know that some people feel like they can take advantage of my niceness. So I'm just kind of like, if I say something once, if I say something twice, I'm not going to say it a third time, especially not in the initial stages of dating. Like we ain't even in a relationship, so I shouldn't have to waste my time doing that at this point. Yeah, so it's the effort for me. So with
effort, that right effort from the right person.
The right effort from the right person. I think me and you was talking about this, and I won't give any names, but I remember this one guy that I was.
For you, that you were talking to. Okay.
Yes, that I was conversating with. I remember he was like, "Hey, I'm gonna come over," and first of all, he had never been in my house. That's just number one. So how are you just going to say you're going to come in my space? I'm going to come over. So shout out to you because you listen to the podcast. Hi. He had said something to the effect of like, I'm going to come over. And I don't think I ever said this to him, but I'm going to come over and I'm going to, we're going to drink wine or whatever, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And hope my dad's not listening. But anyway, so, and I was like, how do you even know I have wine in my apartment? Because I didn't at that point. And so he was like, you do. And I'm like, I don't. And he was like, and mine was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. So he was just like, so I'm just going to come over. And I'm like, but you're not going to bring anyone. Like, you can't come over my house thinking you're going to drink something from my house and then not even offer to bring anything. Like,
invite yourself over and come empty-handed?
Bye. This is not the conversation you want to have with me. And I was like, absolutely not. And call ended. Like, don't come over. Because you can't, like, first of all, I feel like that was disrespectful on so many levels. Like, not only like inviting yourself, knowing that you've never been over here before. Like, that's number one. Number two is, I think the audacity you ain't even have to bring wine. You could have brought juice. The audacity to try to come over to drink some of mine and not even bring anything of yours, regardless of what I got in my household. Like if you wanted to see me, or you couldn't have even said anything about wine, and that wouldn't even been a conversation. You could have said, "Hey, I would like to see you." That's a different conversation.
Right.
But to say, "I want to come over and drink your wine," and
no.
Not gonna happen. Not today, not tomorrow.
And it's not even the wine. Even if he said he wants to come and eat crackers, still, it's the principle of you invited yourself and you was gonna come and think you was just gonna mooch off of what you had. Like that's not a characteristic that a real woman wants in their man. So
no, and that's not a characteristic of a guy that I would even remotely talk to. So after that, I mean, I had already seen some things that made me uninterested, but that was really one thing that I was just like, absolutely, I'm the wrong one. Absolutely not. Sorry. But wow. Yeah.
That is an example of no effort. Negative effort.
Negative effort. Maybe in his mind it was a try. Like, well, at least I called. I reached out, you know.
Yeah, exactly. So there's different levels. So yeah, I reached out, but then after the reach out, everything else was bad. So right. So now that you said that could be it. Like there could be different levels within one thing of one situation of effort could really be multiple little pieces inside of it.
But you see how men and women, we view things differently, because though he might have said, you know, I called and I reached out, I see that as no effort. The reach out part didn't even register in my brain because I couldn't get past everything else. So
I guess it seems like there's a whole lot of communication that has to happen in the beginning of any friendship, relationship, courtship, whatever you want to call it, because people are different and they feel different things, they experience different things, so their actions are going to be different. And you got to talk about effort. You got to talk about likes.
Oh my God, I have another example for you, but I don't really want to say it on a podcast. I don't know. And I kind of do because it's somebody.
Go ahead.
It's my life. It's my life. Exactly. But the guy that we brought on the podcast, right? Gordon.
Okay.
So I'll say, and me and him never had this conversation. So if you're listening, hi.
If you're listening, hi. I'm about to talk about you, but hey.
Ooh, awkward. So one, I feel like he never really put in effort either. So, bare minimum phone conversations, and he probably could say the same thing about me, bare minimum phone conversations. But and I remember I had posted something one day, this is months ago, about like I don't know if I had posted something about going out on a date or something about a guy, I don't know. But anyway, he responded and said that he wanted to take me out on a date. Now, mind you, he had never offered. Do you remember me telling you about this? No?
Is this the wine thing?
Yeah. So he had never like offered to take me anywhere or do anything. And honestly, he had went ghost. Really? I don't know. I hadn't talked to him in a long time. Right. I don't even know if he went ghost. I went ghost. We just hadn't talked. And so he had came back around and said, well, you know, the quarantine is slowly lifting at this time. And so we should hang out. We should go. And I was like, well, what do you have planned? And he did plan I have a hard time saying date, an outing to the winery. And I'll say date to a winery. And I don't know if he had planned it or he had just looked it up and then just thought that he would tell me. But we hadn't talked up until that point. And so I don't even know what the last thing I said to him. I probably was just like, oh, okay, well, I'll let you know, or I don't know what I said, to be honest. But I say all of that to say is that there was the bare minimum effort in that kind of like wanting to hang out, wanting to see, because, you know, like we had kind of met right when the quarantine started.
Right.
And so we never got to hang out. And so my whole point of that is, even though I couldn't see you, and I think his thing was he couldn't see me physically. So he really didn't know how I looked. Though we've seen each other on camera, he's kind of like.
But he was at our recording.
In person?
No. Well, I mean, it wasn't in person, but
No, but you remember him saying on that podcast, like, I need to see her in person. That's the only thing. So I think because he can't see my body, he can't see my, face close up, that he's just kind of like, I need to see her. And so my whole thing was, if you were really interested in me in any level, it's the quarantine. You could find ways on us like, we ain't even got to see each other. We can Zoom, we can FaceTime. We both got an iPhone. There's ways you can communicate and have conversations with me and get to know me outside of the quarantine. And so that when the quarantine does lift, we would be more comfortable meeting each other, but you didn't even try to do that. So that was my whole point about that. So,
and in that case, it just sounds like, because it was from an app, right? Or was it Instagram? How did y'all meet?
It was an app, I think.
So, and I know on these apps, guys are shooting their shots on a lot of people.
I'm sure. So, and I expect it. But for me,
you were right in everything. I was just saying, like, he probably shot his shot at a lot of people, and so he didn't feel like he needed to put in a whole lot of effort, because it's like, wait, if she doesn't want to go on this date, or if she doesn't want to see me in person. And I remember, didn't he want to do like some type of jogging date or something like that? Like, he wanted to go walking or jogging or something.
Oh gosh, that's probably somebody else, girl.
Huh?
That's probably somebody else.
Oh, I could have swore it was him, but that would have been like, okay, cool. It's still attempting to see in person, but
it could be him. Honestly, it's so long ago, I don't remember. But I will say is, I wasn't looking for much effort from him, because we had met off a dating app. The bare minimum would be, let's, we weren't even texting like that. Text, FaceTime, talk, conversate. It wasn't even any of that. So I'm like, do you really even want to know me?
Right. So. And I think that's the danger of the sites, because they'll go for whoever bites back the fastest and the hardest. And because you weren't, he got ghost for a little while, and then he's like, wait, let me go back through and see who I at least initiated stuff with. Let me try again. And by then you were like, no.
And let's talk about the fact that guys sometimes don't put an effort with getting to know you. Like, I think a lot of times for me, I've seen a lot of like surface level conversations. So not like, I'm just making this up. Like, what is one of your fears? Like, tell me about your family. Tell me, what's some of your aspirations? Like, those type of conversations, a lot of times now, they're so surface level of like, what did you watch on TV today? I don't want to talk about what I watched on TV. Like,
how was work? How was work?
It was work. It was work. Like, so I talk a lot with my hands, guys. Sorry, but
I do too. I'm trying, holding them. I'm trying not to, but that's true. Like, sometimes you'll look back and be like, yeah, we really didn't talk about much. But then you have the ones that they'll ask you about certain things, and if you look back, you're like, wow, he was slick on the way he asked me, but you can tell he remembers and listens. So sometimes it doesn't even have to be a question and answer type of situation. It could just be a regular conversation, and you never know when they're really, like, if they're really, really listening or not.
Right.
But like, I'm not gonna say much, but there's one, like, I could tell, like, he really is engaged in what I'm saying, or he'll bring up different things, but he doesn't make it doesn't feel like an interrogation. And sometimes conversations with new people, new guys, new girls, whatever you're talking to, it may seem like interrogation. Like, so what's your favorite color? What movie do you like? Oh, well, what restaurant you'd like to go to? Or no, let's just have a conversation, and you'll learn so much more about me than for you to ask me pointed questions and think I'm just going to spit out an answer. Let's just talk about our lives.
Yes.
And that's what I like.
Remember that date I was telling you about that I feel, so guys, let me just clarify on the podcast. I don't be going on dates like that. And Ebony, I ain't got no man.
You're single. You can go on as many dates as you want to. What they gonna say?
Child, somebody else might be watching this to want to go on a date with me. I just want to clarify for the people.
Oh, you're right. But you're not going on any dates now. These are all old stories.
These are old stories.
We never gave them a timeline. They could have been back in 2000.
Right, and it could be about the same person, not about the same person.
Right? You good?
So this one guy, when we went out, he literally was like asking me question after question after question, like rapid fire, and I was like, I'm really trying to like.
Can I even think of an answer right now? Because you're giving me too much. I could.
Right. And I was like, I can't even think, honestly. And so I did go on a second date, but after that, it kind of fizzled out because I was just like, it's too much for me. Like, it has to be what I've learned in, dating is it has to be some form of chemistry. Like, I have to be connected to you. Like, you have to give me, like, it has to be mental or, obviously you have to be physically attracted to the person. It has to be something like a deeper connection. Maybe you talk about, something you connect with in your past. It has to be something to connect you guys, or else it's just all like
right,
surface level, like not really. It's just a friendship, honestly.
yeah. You want
If
to
you
start?
call it that.
Yeah, you want to start it as an acquaintanceship.
Yes.
Acquaintanceship.
Okay.
You want to start it as a friendship, of course, most definitely. But as long as there's the chemistry there, it doesn't feel as though it's an interrogation. You're asking a bunch of questions. It's like you're asking questions, and I'm going to ask questions about you because
Because
I'm
I like
intrigued
you.
about you. And so it doesn't become a one-sided. You want to know everything right now. Like I don't have it in me to just tell you my whole entire life like that.
And I don't want to be honest. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Like, I don't really trust people that much. So I don't know what you're doing with this information. What kind of, like, I have to really trust you to let you in on the inner parts of me. So it's kind of like, we got to work our way to that.
Right.
Um, so yeah, effort, guys, effort, ladies, effort. We all need to put in effort. We all need to have more stimulating conversations. So it's to me, it's to you, it's to everyone. Like making sure we're doing our due diligence, and we're not saying like put in. You have to like do from 0 to 100 right away. You don't have to put in all of this effort right away, but show something like, because I think, guys, here's a tip for you. When you show us effort, we go that much more, right? We will bend over backwards if we feel like you're really in it. But we're not going to do that for someone who is just putting an effort so you can get something out of it.
Right.
That's not, like Sierra said, there has to be an end goal. And so if you don't foresee yourself with the person, then you just keep it moving. Go to the next
I mean,
one.
there could always be an end goal, but is it the right end goal? Like, there is an end goal, but what are you going for? And is it something that I want to sign up for too? And is it something that both of us mutually are okay with? Or are you just trying to do some adult activities and you think I'm gonna fall for that?
Right.
So, E is for effort. We've already said you gotta show it both sides. You have to communicate on what you feel is effort, what appeals to you as effort, because if you don't, someone can think they're going hard in the paint, giving 100, and really it means nothing to you. As she already said, just the call in the beginning is that's not really effort. Like that's what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But
last before we end, we do have to say like there's things that you're supposed to be doing. Like you were saying in the midst of your conversation, effort and things you're supposed to, those are two totally different things. It's not the same.
Do you want to say what are some of the things they're supposed to be doing when you're trying to date somebody?
I think establishing a, do you like to call? Do you like to text? I've had guys ask me that before. And it varies. If I really like you, and I'm going to put myself out there again. Sometimes I be telling guys I like to text when I really do be liking to talk on the phone sometimes. Sometimes I just like to text. It depends on my mood that day. If we decide to eventually be in a relationship, I'm going to have to learn to talk on the phone all the time. Sometimes I say text because if I don't want to talk on the phone, then I can be like, well, I told you I like to text. So it depends if how much you like the guy on what I would say about that. So I think establishing clear, let's talk on the phone, let's text, or during the day we're going to text, during work hours. And then after that, we're going to talk on the phone at least 30 minutes to an hour a day or something like that. As the bare minimum. I think also, asking questions to get to know somebody, that is not effort. That's just the bare minimum. That's just what you're supposed to be doing if you really like that person. I I think along those lines, it's like, which is a little bit different. It's kind of like learning more about that person and then hoping that person grow in some way. Like if you're in that person's life, you're supposed to help elevate them in some way. If you're not really doing that, that's
When does that exactly start? Because when you're in the dating phase, you don't even know if that's somebody that you want to put that level of effort into and teach them something new or elevate them or anything like that. Because you're just still trying to figure out, like, is this even the right person for
so
me to be?
guys who's listening to the podcast, guys, and I say guys, I mean women and men.
Whoever, yeah.
Yeah, whoever. Let me know what you think. I personally think that in any capacity, you can always teach someone something. Whether it's me, and I'm just saying from my experience, whether I'm saying, hey, I read this book today, it's about blah blah, or hey, I'm doing the schedule to make sure I have some time, on my personal time to I'm making this up, but run a book club, write a book. Or I saw this really interesting thing on social media, or a really interesting thing on this TV show, and it was talking about the universe and the planetariums. I'm totally making this up, and it gave me blah 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 information. I thought it was interesting. From like that's small ways of like telling a person about you, but also teaching them something, also expanding their mind and helping them grow in different ways. And I think it can be very tiny. It doesn't have to be something major.
Okay. Just wondering. Okay.
Yeah, so I think trying to think of something else that would be something that would be bare minimum effort. I think those are the majority of things that I can think of right now. But again, there is a difference between I keep forgetting me on video. I'm looking around my house, child. There's a difference between
effort
and the bare minimum. So there's some things, and I think I'm talking to myself too. So I can amp up my communication style. I can, and I think what we've said before in this podcast is it looks different when you're actually interested in the person.
It definitely does.
Versus when you're not, you can tell the difference. So, do you have any like must haves or
The basic I think would be just to communicate with me. I'm a talker, so I'm gonna want to tell you about stuff, like even random stuff that you probably don't care about, but just being able to communicate with me, like that's the basic thing. And you can't just tell me that you're too busy, because if you're too busy to talk to me, then you're too busy to date me, which means why are you even trying?
Right.
You're not. So I think that's the main thing that I think I would not even, but I still would consider that effort in a way, because you're going to set aside time to talk to me, whether it's video, text message, DMs, however you're trying to talk to me, you're making the effort to set aside the time. And that's what means the most. And that's why earlier I was like, if you're just brushing your teeth and you're talking through suds because you're running late, you still took the time to get me in, and you didn't have to. So I look at that as effort, and that's what I want, because I'm like cheesy like that. And
no, I think that's effort too. And like that is a way of getting to know again a person, their quirks and things that they like and dislike. And I'm a person, I could be having random facts all the time. I'm always telling you about something that I've learned, something that I know, something that I think is true, something that I've seen. So, that's always nice when you're dating somebody to be able to share those topics and things, outside of your friends.
I'll talk to you about my favorite pizza places, about puppies, about, like random stuff.
The most random I can be.
But I'll tell you about a book I'm reading, like you said. I might do that, but just sometimes even just like, hey, what'd you do last week, or what are your plans for the holiday? Like, how's your family? Or I'll tell you something that happened in my life that may be traumatic or memorable, and then sometimes that'll have them open up and tell you something about their life, and then it's like the vulnerability starts opening, the communication, and then we start to talk about silly stuff and movies. But I just like knowing that someone is making the conscious decision,
effort
to contact me or to reach out in a way that lets me know that, I mean, I'm worth their time. Because time, we don't have like all the time in the world. So if someone's giving you a minute or two or an hour or 30 minutes, it means a lot to me and I appreciate it. And so that's it.
And I do want to say too, because we're older, I just turned 33,
Yeah.
because we're older now, your effort got to come a little quicker than it would normally come, right? Because we don't have all the time in the world, and I might not want to, I'm not like, oh my God, I need to get married today, I need to have kids. I'm not in that mindset, but it is a thought at some point, and so I'm not going to allow you to waste my time. So
yeah, we can't do that. That's definitely a thing. Wasting time.
Don't waste my time. 2021.
Don't waste my time.
I know this song.
It's an old song. But there's another song that's Don't Waste My Time. Oh, Usher got a song too, right? Isn't his song Don't Waste My Time? Yes. With LMA. I think I can't even think of the lyrics right now, but I was thinking about the song like way back in the day. But I think his is Don't Waste My Time. And speaking of songs, like her song Damage, I love it. I just absolutely love her song.
I feel like I listened to it, but I have to go back and listen.
Yes, her Damage. Y'all listen to it. Make it number one on the Sirius XM weekly countdown with Dion. Okay, we want her to be number one if she's not already. Right. I ain't listened to that. But anyways, so we getting off topic as we always do. But like we said, it's the effort. Take another sip for us.
So guys, if you're listening, let us know some efforts that we women, we can make, because we can. And I think, because I'm a woman, I'm going to speak for us. We do put in a lot of effort. We will try, we will go to the ends of the earth. We'll move mountains for you, child, if we like you. And I think men are kind of like, I'll do it, but I still might not like you like that. I still might be having you in this category. So yeah, let us know if you resonated with anything from this episode. If what's the effort for you? Because we're interested. And what's the bare minimum? What do you think are some things that we should be doing? Just it's very subpar. Like you should do that anyway. So give us some tips. We're listening.
Yes, we're listening. We want to hear your side of it. You heard what we thought, so we want to bring you in and you tell us what you thought. And you guys give us things, we give you things, and we can just make this a big, happy exchange of information to help everybody. So anyway, I think that's really all we really going to talk about for this episode, right? Is that it?
Yes, that is it.
Yeah, peeps, thank you guys for being here again for another episode. And like we've already said, we're doing video now. So if you're listening to us right now on a podcast,
Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Google, any way that you're listening to us, Anchor, just know that you can go over right now to YouTube and you can look us up at the Real Play Podcast, and you can take a look at our beautiful faces. Not being conceited or anything, I'm just saying, but you can now see us. And we wanted to add this feature in season 2. So we're here, we're doing it, we're trying it out. If we don't like it, we'll have to nix that. Cause I kind of gained my quarantine thickness done got thicker in the past 3 months. So I was good spring and summer, but come September through December, this right here. So we're working on it. So I might have to cut the video a little bit, or I might have to sit real far back. We're all black, whatever. But I'm just saying.
No, child, listen, everybody has gained weight during the quarantine. I just did a cleanse. I was supposed to last for 10 days. I did not, but I'm still incorporating things from the cleanse. So, I got my water and stuff like that. So,
got the water. Yeah. So we're going to do video as long as we can. We understand that once you throw out video, there's going to be people out there critiquing everything about you. Like, girl, your eyebrows wasn't together. Like one was longer than the other. I saw the tip further. Like, so, but we're not going to let any of that get to us. But I will say, I got to get up in the gym. That's my thing right now. Well, not in the gym. That's suspended. I suspended that since June.
If you guys want to send us any if you want to critique anything, sorry, I'm talking over Sierra, but if you want to critique anything, if you got any products, that you want to send. You want to send me a lipstick because you feel like my lips,
dry.
my lip gloss is fading or dry. Send me some lip gloss, girl. Send me some lipstick. Send me some eyeshadow if you care that much. Send me someone to get my hair done. If not, then let's just keep it positive.
All right. So thank you guys again for listening to It's the Effort for Me in the Real Play podcast. You can find us on all social media.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, guys.
Bye.
All right. Bye.